Oh, yeah. Welcome out. This is the Remix Morning Show. Right here on Black Liberation Media. In case you didn't know, I go by the name of the Ear Doctor, here to bring you that boom bap breakfast. Yes, us, not just me, holding the D straight from the DMV, as all can see. Let me introduce my crew for you. Coming in so lovely. She goes by the name of Jackie. Yes. Jackie, you be out there working so much. Listen, we gonna have to get some other young Jackies out here and protect you from these cold environments and weather and stuff like that.
You don't want that. You don't want any more of me. That's don't you think Jackie. One of me is look, like my mama said, I think one of you is enough. That's why you don't have any siblings. Because one of you is enough.
I'm saying you out here in this cold weather screaming on people. You know what I'm saying? We need some more young yous out there. Step up.
I think we're doing the best that we can. You know, raising up another generation of exhorters, of truth tellers, as people like to quote it. Because we definitely need more people to tell the truth. Tell the truth all the time.
I love still seeing the fire in their eyes. Like when I see like the young activists, revolutionaries, and like, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I'm like, all right, it's good. That y'all still got something y'all want to fight for. Sometimes it seems like I talked to a sister that's a teacher the other day, and she was just like, these kids, it's like the world's coming to an end, like on some Y2K shit. And they just like yo, it could be a war. I mean, that's how they feel like you with all this war stuff, because you know they're not used to hearing about missiles and stuff busting up people like they are.
I mean, I can't disagree with them.
Yeah. Well, let's ask another sister what their thoughts are. Like Kim Brown.
Hey.
Good morning.
She's coming in soft.
Man, that was so seductive. What?
Good morning. How are you guys doing?
It's like a late morning quiet storm.
Good. Good.
Everything's good. I don't even remember. That's the thing about middle age.
What day is it? I don't know.
We was talking.
Wait, this is the second day I've been okay, so that means this is Thursday.
Yes, this is Thursday.
Yeah,
the Remix Morning Show, Thursday.
Hallmark time now.
Live from DC to Atlanta to the world. So
indeed.
How you doing, Kim?
Well, and yourself?
All right, I'm here.
Jacqueline at 2, how are you feeling? All right. Well, it's all loaded questions.
All this energy.
All of our niceties is loaded questions. How do I feel? How am I doing? Let me ponder this before I just answer.
I think I'm numb. I actually think I am kind of numb. What a time to be alive. Jesus.
Oh man. They say that, the reincarnation, you choose what timeline you visit or you become. And it's like, did I choose this timeline? Is this the one I picked this?
Hey, Kim, you ever been in a rally?
Yes.
Would you remember which one it was for?
All kinds. I mean, from Mike Brown to, I mean, I hate to even reduce when I show up to mobilizations to people's names, but that,
Yeah.
So the short answer is yes. Yes, I have been to a number of rallies and marches.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
that's all I do, though. I'm the mobile. You know what I'm saying? Jackie do work. I show up. Jackie sets the date and the time and the reason for the season, and
But
people like me just appear.
but they say it wouldn't be no march if it wasn't for the people. So your part is significant too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We sometimes we get a little carried away with our rhetoric, and I mean leftists, whatever. And I know what the hell does that word even mean anymore? But sometimes we get a little bit carried away with criticizing, accurately critiquing liberal, kind of pointless uh, um, recruitment efforts, like the No Kings rally, which should be critiqued based on the politics and the lack thereof, and what they don't connect to and what they won't talk about, right? Because that was the whole deal with the No Kings rallies, that they wouldn't even talk about Palestine.
Mhm.
While there were some people, individual people, and maybe small groups in the areas and the cities where some of the protests happened, they came and brought their Palestine stuff. But the organizers themselves, when you looked at the website, when you looked at the demands and what they talked about, nobody was talking it. They did not talk about Palestine. And how do you have a demonstration about anything during a genocide? I don't, and you don't talk about the genocide. So critiquing the politics of a demonstration is fine. It's a good thing. We should do that, because if you're not going to demonstrate about what the enemy is actually doing and who the enemy actually is, I'm not sure what it is you're doing, and neither do you. But sometimes we go too far and say things like, all these big old protests, they're not going to do anything. Protest has a purpose and a role in building a mass, because protest, number one, publicizes aspects of issues that people may already know about, but they may not know some of the details in some of the in the issue. And protests, through the speakers and the signage and that kind of stuff, protests are supposed to be the public place where you connect all these issues together, so people understand that the murder of one of our people, extrajudicial killing by the police, is connected to a genocide in Gaza, in Sudan, in Congo. You know what I mean? And so, and then also it brings people out together, because 330 million people in this country, politics all over the place. If you're living in a small town or not in a major city, and your politics don't align with the conservative politics in the area you live in that everybody has, these rallies do kind of help you not feel so alone, right? Because you're out there with other people who agree with the same thing that you do, or that you agree with their politics that's different from the politics that you live in, and that gives you that makes you feel better. It gives you confidence. It puts wind in your sails, and it gives you encouragement to keep on the path that you're on.
Mm.
So protest has a purpose, but all protests are not created equal.
Awesome. And speaking of politics, I see Crockett didn't win over in Texas, and I
Mm,
also see that Keisha Lance Bottoms is winning in Georgia,
Winning what? What is she running for?
mm,
governor.
Is she?
Yeah,
mm.
yeah, governor.
Interesting.
I'm
Is
sorry, Georgia. I'm sorry.
no good options in
I'm
Georgia.
sorry.
The
that,
Republican or Keisha Lance Bottoms. You probably be getting about the same.
yeah. I don't know. I wanted to see what Crockett was going to do in Texas. That would have been something. That would have been TV every day. Boy, Texans is
Was it
wild.
close? I mean, I saw the outcome that D. White man was victorious, but I don't know. Was it a close race?
It was somewhat close, and then I think he's talking about suing them because they didn't allow some voters to vote, something like that. So
They who? The Democratic Party or the Republicans? Because we got to be, because let's be clear. I don't even want to get into the discourse that people are already in the middle of. Oh, the black woman. Listen, the woman, she's a Zionist. She's very what's the word?
Establishment.
No, charismatic. You know, and that's fine. That's fine. I think that people are going way too far in the wrong direction with the analysis of why she lost, because it's like, oh, you know, she has an enthusiastic or robust attitude, and you know, the establishment Dems, they can't handle a black woman who speaks her mind. No, it really didn't have anything to do with her attitude, her personality, the way she presented herself. That wasn't it. It was the problem that the Democrats refused to acknowledge in their own autopsy about why Harris lost the presidency. Genocide. You can't, people are not going to vote for someone who will give money to a state that is slaughtering women and children to steal their land. That's and
I don't
just
think
like
Texas
Harris,
ready.
you
Is
know,
the
it just,
guy? Is the
I don't
guy?
think Texas ready to give it up to a sister. Like, truthfully,
Oh,
I don't
absolutely
think
not.
it's that. I don't think it is always that simple. I think,
I think it's part of it.
and this is why the Democrats are going to keep, they're going to stay. They're going to stay. You know, this guy Talrico, you know, he's not the devil. What he is um the 2026 manifestation of the Democratic Party's shift from popular people's support decades ago. Right? They like Talrico not because he's a white man, but because the way he talks to conservatives appeals to them, because he came out of that. So he can say the liberal talking points, but in a way that conservatives will hear it. Jasmine Crockett won't. So this is less about, for me, this is less about Jasmine Crockett being a black woman and more about the Democratic Party still clinging to this strategy of doing everything they can to appeal to moderate Republicans instead of advocating for the people. Because let's not forget, didn't a pro-Palestine black pastor win?
I don't know. Let's ask Kamal K. Franklin.
Good morning.
Kamal K. Franklin doesn't follow electoral politics that closely, so Kamal K. Franklin may not know the answer to that.
You talking about Al Green?
You don't vote, Kamal K. Franklin?
Kamal K. Franklin hasn't voted in maybe a decade.
Well, damn, Kamal K. Franklin.
If not longer than that, actually. Kamal K. Franklin probably has voted twice in the last 20 years.
Ear doctor is the same.
Y'all didn't at least go vote against Dinkins?
Kamal K. Franklin probably has voted 5 times in the last 40 years.
And 2 of those votes was for Obama. No,
one was Obama.
One was Obama over here, yeah.
But not the original one. Was Obama 2012?
The second one, really?
The second one. Because I was in Mississippi doing electoral work with the NAACP.
Oh, you was already at the polls. You was like,
I was like, might as well.
Might as well get it in. But yeah, it's probably been 4 times in 30. Yeah, 40 years. Yeah, 40 years.
Was it pressure, or did you just feel like you wanted to be a part of the?
Mostly pressure. Mostly with some kind of pressure. Oh, you should do it. Blah blah blah. Nah.
By the blacks? Is that
pressure by the blacks to do to vote for a black liberal candidate? They're like, Well,
we here in Georgia have a chance to have a black woman governor, and Keisha Lance Bottoms, and we got some black women running from Secretary of State. So
I think it's got to be publicity stunt for Keisha Lance. This makes no sense whatsoever. She has no constituency whatsoever. Not even black women yet.
And I have y'all not seen what this black woman mayor in DC is doing? Why y'all want another one of those?
Sheesh.
I don't know why y'all keep wanting one of those. I don't know why y'all keep wanting mayors and governors and city council members and presidents in this damn system whatsoever. I don't care what happens in these elections. I don't. I okay. I know that for some, for local stuff, yes, it good. Okay, yes, you need to vote for somebody to do something. Yes, you do, and you should vote for somebody who actually is going to do something at the local level, right? That okay, that makes sense. I get it. Governor, if we're not talking about electing like literally city council members, school board members, because how are we not talking about how electorally we're in this situation in the first that this country is in this situation in the first place? Because what did the GOP do with their national mobilization against Obama through the Tea Party? What was the first thing they did? They started running candidates for these local offices that nobody thinks about: dog catcher, recorder of deeds, coroner, school board. Nobody paid attention to the school board too much before the Tea Party mobilized themselves and started running candidates. And then those candidates in these little nondescript, nobody pays attention to them offices ran for higher office. And then somebody else came in and took their place. And then they just kept running that process until they had what were they got? Yeah, we had the Tea Party Congress until they had the Tea Party Congress, and then they became the Freedom Congress or the Freedom Caucus in Congress. And now they have the White House. That's organization. And we're still sitting here talking about, oh, we got black women Democrats winning for governor, and the Tea Party has.
And the thing that they did is that they led with politics. They led with their actual politics. They didn't sugarcoat their even if their politics are trash, and they are trash. They're racist, homophobic, sexist. They led with their politics. They didn't hide their politics. They didn't try to skirt the issue. So I, as jaded as I am, I'm still looking to be inspired. And so I also one of those folks who are not. I'm not a voter, but I look for these folks who have these platforms to do something that's inspiring for me. And then I just feel like the folks who supposedly are left, or the people who supposedly say they are left. I'm going to include the Worker Families Party, the Democratic Socialists of America, the Green Party, or whatever it is. I just feel like that none of them, for me, maybe the Green Party out of that bunch, but it just feels like in order: Green Party, Democratic Socialists, and then Workers' Family. Although Workers' Family has the most money, I think, out of that bunch, and still tied to the Democratic Party. All that to say it, I just feel like the politics of it people get scared, and then they want to be a part of the mainstream system, and they want to get those resources from the rich people who give the resources, and you never feel like it's like a real politic. I've heard people from like I've heard folks from Worker Families Party at the national level who come on and talk about they give like the Russian takeover of the elections. It's like, who are you? Why would you say that? So it's like when people start touting those lines, you're just like, eh. But I want somebody to be like, yeah, okay. So maybe make me want to. Again, I would never put eggs in that basket in terms of like with the work I do. But there's that part. There's that part that's America's a powerful propaganda system, and there's that small part of me that's like, yeah, I want somebody to inspire.
I'll tell you what's inspiring. Magic City Knights at the Atlanta Hawks games.
What?
Magic City. They have the Atlanta Hawks have a night called Magic City. Yes, that Magic City. Yes, they're having a Magic City stripper night at the Atlanta Hawks.
That might be inspiring. Yeah, maybe that's inspiring.
So we got players going against it, like, yo, y'all shouldn't be promoting a stripper club. Like, it had to be a white boy from Europe, from another team that was like, this ain't right. Like, what are y'all doing?
Somebody said that?
Yes. And then Al Horford,
and everybody else told him
guy. He was right? he was like, for real, what are y'all doing? So it's like y'all exploiting little women's sex workers and trafficking and this, that, and the third, and y'all making it a night that kids are going to come to and be like, oh, Magic City night.
He's got a point. And how did the team the team ownership react to that?
It wasn't their idea.
Exactly. No, that's
like, wait a minute. The players didn't come up with the theme nights. That's management.
That was the marketing department.
I agree. Yes.
And they're going to have the Magic City lemon pepper wings at the stadium that they're known for.
So it's a chicken wing night. I mean, is it a chicken wing night or is it a super night?
I'm wondering how they're going to include this. Like,
they're going to include this. You can't have a Magic City night.
You're going to have some
polls.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are we doing? I mean, if you're going to call it Magic City night, then make it Magic City. Like, don't just bust out the lemon pepper wing.
You're going to bring your kids to the Magic City.
Maybe this is a 18 and over night at the Hawks Stadium, Hawks Arena.
Magic City night. Let's go to the game.
Mom, what is he doing?
Yeah, what is he doing? What is Jake doing? Mom. Mom, can you do that?
I can't make this stuff up, man.
This
is where we live.
I mean, now, that's good. That's crazy. On its face, that's crazy.
Mean, that's what Atlanta's known for: freak, naked, Magic City.
Is that what Atlanta's known for?
Well, back in the day, is it known for that anymore?
Oh, definitely. Still, as soon as people get off the plane, they want to go to Magic City because it's wonderment. And a lot of strip clubs. Some strip clubs, they're not all. They still got clothes on.
I mean, that's
Magic City is completely.
Yeah. You walk around. Yeah.
Look, that's fantastic. Wonderful. I'm no judgment.
Only deliver pizza there. I did not inhale.
I was trying so hard.
You see Bill Clinton looking at the SD file, smiling.
I did not do nothing. We cannot be serious with you.
When he drunk that water, I was the boss.
So
he's like, remember the line. Remember the line.
Nigga was unbothered. Like, yeah, I was there. That's me in the hot tub. Yeah. If you look over to the right, it's like, I remember that. Yeah, I was chilling that day. I was tired.
He said, I never saw. It was almost like his. I didn't have sex with that woman. He was like, I was like, I didn't say anything.
He was reminiscing hard. He was.
He's like, yeah.
What he was though.
His lawyer was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, "Give me that." He's like, "No, but you." I was like,
laughing like, "Oh yeah, I remember her. Yeah, that was."
It is the only time where I come a little close to feeling bad for Hillary. Not too close, but it's the only time anytime he has it, is like, "Yo, B, you rode that horse for a long time. You was in it to win it. She is ride or die. You know what I'm saying? Hillary Clinton is ride or die.
She really is. Yeah. I will say, I hope to have that level of lawyer representation one day. I was watching Hillary's test, and every time she got asked the questions, one lawyer said something, can you clarify? And the other lawyer said something, and then she said something. I'm like, nigga, where are my lawyers at? Come out. I need to be flanked at the table, giving that
your lawyer advice. Because you won't get that part. You'll be in handcuffs by that point. You won't get that. You won't get no testimony. Yeah, you won't get that. that.
No, we don't get depositions like that.
Yeah,
we get interrogations in the jail cell underneath the jail.
Under the jail.
Yeah, there's no shame game, and then you get to go home. None of that.
The world we live in. How do your kids take this? Come out? Do they look like the world is coming to an end? I was talking with Jackie earlier. Nah, a lot. Well, I was talking to a teacher. She was like, "These kids feel like we in the war. The world is crazy right now. We just got out of COVID. We in the war now, and."
I think the kids are more bummed out about climate change, right? Like the kids have been bummed out about climate change. They know that they're going to inherit a burning planet. Yes, they are.
Yeah, they do. They are. They say
the
that.
Kids are bummed out because they go to school.
That's about it.
The kids are bummed out by regular things. I don't know if the kids are that bummed, except for the kids who decide to put on the black gear and go do things or whatever like that. I still think most, the kids that go to. The kids are bummed out by it. My son yesterday told me in the car, I'll be more explicit. He was like, he's like, what's sad about school? We have to do school shooting drills. And I was like, yes. That's very sad about school. Then he said to me, he's like, how would you know? You never had to do them. And I was like, you're right. That is a phenomenon more of your time period. And the fact we go to these like integrated schools. Like, you know what I mean? Like that is, you are right. I've been sort of in between the age of like
duck and cover and school shooting drills.
And before that, the nuclear fallout things. So they make the kids 20 years, like my mama's age, or like had to go. They thought that might be a nuclear bomb.
Oh, I was about to say, you had that?
No. I said I'm in between those. In between those.
Yeah, that's the duck and cover.
Yeah, that was the duck and cover. Oh, okay. Yeah. Like getting under your school desk is going to stop the nuclear annihilation.
Right. Like that cheap ass little desk.
What is that made of?
You're going to dive under. That you can't even get your ass underneath.
For the bomb? Like,
that's crazy.
Which it was all propaganda anyway, to get you scared, to allow them to do what they wanted to do. Like your kid, the Russians are threatening your kids, kind of shit. So.
My daughter did ask, can you think that we'll get any effect from like a missile or any bombings over here? And I was like, it's pretty far. I was like, I don't know if it can reach all the way over here, but I was like, it might be some other types of, wrapping around.
Unfortunately,
I don't know these personal bombs, but I don't know about no missiles. So yeah, that's the question I'm getting asked. I'm like, shit.
See, kids are terrified. Kids are terrified that the future they are inheriting is going to be on fire. I mean, I'd be stressed out and anxious. I am stressed out and anxious. Like, who wants to live the next 20 years of their life at the end of it? Like, this is what. This is my retirement year. Oh God, no. Oh no.
All right. Well, I guess it's time to get to some news and stuff like that. And the best place to do it in time will be now. So welcome to the Remix Morning Show. I'm the Air Doctor. That's Jackie Lukeman, Kim Brown, Kamal K. Franklin. And we'll be back right after this break. Let's get it. Time for a remix on a remix. Let's do it.
Mic check, mic check. I walked around the street with the black tech now by the waistline, thinking I hype shit. I never claimed to be the best type of rapper. You have to show the motherfuckers what I'm after. I'm after the gold, and after that the platinum. Beep after that, Hurricane G back to gat some. Chicka bang bang, yo bust the slang with my name. It's the red man on the funk thing. Sight your motherfucking lights tonight. To do what I wanna do, to do it like dynamite. The one perfected, when the funk been ejected. I'm roughing up the rough drafts to like make your head split. Past the 40 and the running, don't front on the block. Cause when you do front, brother, you get the start.
All right. Let me take you to a time and place. Let me take you back to the year 1993 or 92 when it was recorded. We're talking about What the Album by no other than Redman. The name of that song is Tonight's the Night. Mixed with an ear doctor beat in the background. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go to patreon.com, become a member over there, get footage that's rare. Donate where? At blkliberationmedia.org. Yes, go and donate. Get you some merch. Support the channel so we can continue to have news that is real. All right, with that said, let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Fuck the smooth shit, I get down with the boom, bip like boom, bip like boom, bip like boom, bip like boom.
You could do that forever. That was fantastic.
That was nice. Nice.
Damn, you're good.
He is good.
Don't get
Your
come on
doc-
now. Don't get calm down.
I was like, all praises.
Continue
Yes.
to talk. Come
That
out.
woke me up. God damn, that was fantastic. That was good. That was good. A sparse underneath beat. That was damn.
Man, Redman
Loved
always
it.
does it for me, man.
And yeah, Redman. Yeah.
Yes,
Calm down,
yes,
Ken.
yes.
Calm down.
It's my favorite.
Calm down.
Look
All
at
right.
Redman, so unproblematic throughout his career compared to some of his peers.
For real.
Compared to some of his peers, I ain't heard
That's
no
pretty
bad
sexy.
stories.
That is pretty sexy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No Epstein file on Redman.
I don't
There
think
are no rappers in the Epstein file, are there?
Bullshit.
Except for
Jay-Z
right?
Yeah.
and Pusha T are in the Epstein
Yeah.
files, and I'm waiting for someone to pull on that thread and what the deep dive is as what the allegations are. But
Mhm.
Beyonce, your
Oh.
husband again, girl. Oh.
He wants to be a part of that world.
How you be one of the most beautiful women in the world? Your husband out here just embarrassed every time. Jesus.
He wants to be a part of that world.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Big up to Redman anyway, man.
Big up, Jersey.
Guy was like me. He stood up for his rights when they tried to be like, yo, you can't be in this movie if you don't take this shot. He was like, no movie for me.
What?
Big up.
What are you
If
talking
you don't
about?
take COVID, he's doing a COVID thing. I think.
Oh,
Lord.
Wait, come
Oh.
back before you go.
Come back here.
Come back here. What about the I don't care about your COVID reference.
Okay.
What about the what's the cover with my man from Chicago?
The cover.
I just saw the cover.
You talk about Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
Oh
What's
yeah,
the
Chance the Rapper. That was more. He has a song called "The Negro Problem." He got on the Late Show and he did a performance, and it was just good to see rappers are still using their voice to talk about stuff and getting on these platforms and having songs that have some meaning to them, and
So there's no story connected to it at all.
no story connected to it. Just
No world event. Nothing.
We don't have a clip of the song.
Well, you are dealing with the ear doctor, so.
Now it's train police and it's school police. It's gonna be police at the balloon release. Being real, that's business as usual here. Look alive, you could die at a funeral here. It's a lot of complaints, but we just can't file them. Open case, shut case, still won't solve them. The judge said what? I don't see no problem. The world said, yup, that's the Negro problem.
That's all a little bit,
We rhyming problem with problem. Okay, cool. I mean, I feel the message, but come on, guy. I mean, aren't you a rapper, Chance the Rapper? We rhyming problem with problem. Oh, okay.
That's a great literary poetic thing when you're able to rhyme a word with a word.
Not the same word. Not the.
Yes.
No. Okay. Anyway,
I'm done with y'all.
I shouldn't weigh in.
Extraordinaires.
I'm not a fan of poetry. Okay.
See?
At all? No poetry at all?
It's difficult for me. It's either music. It's difficult. It is. It's not something I can explain because I understand that songs are poetry set to music. But without the music, it's just kind of annoying to me. And I don't. I'm sorry. I'm just. It is not something that has a basis in anything. Like a poet didn't assault me when I was a child. It wasn't. I wasn't forced to recite a poem that I hated. And no, there's no trauma. There's something about just spoken word. But it's also why I don't go to book readings, because I don't want to hear you read. I will read it myself. That's just
not even the Lost Poets or none of that. No.
That's what I was going to say. I feel like maybe your distaste of poetry might be generational in the sense that, like, Nikki Giovanni and the Last Poets and Gil Scott-Heron did in their day is different than what we were hearing in the 90s, where that spoken word, it was very much performance, you know what I'm saying? Like, yes. And the bees and the trees and the leaves.
And it's like, well, okay.
And they all did it in that cadence, right? They did it in the Last Poets. It like became a big thing. And like in Brooklyn, it was a huge poetry scene. That you're right. Every so-called revolutionary was all of a sudden a poet, and they were a love poet, and then they were a screenwriter, and then they just got a job.
And after Love Jones came out, it was a rap. Everybody was a poet. Like,
I don't. I think that's pretty close to accurate. Because that cadence gets on my nerves. That whole,
you heard it 100 times.
Everything is like enough. Hyper accentuating every third stanza. Like, I
want to be the king of poetry. I'm here to get down. I'm gonna turn this world around. You need to follow the world that I bring to you, because then you will see that everything is new.
And at that point, I'm out the door, because I don't.
That's it.
I feel like Kamal was in the back of a Brooklyn cafe booing niggas.
That's all you got? What about Cop City?
Exactly. Roll the eye and then get up and get out. After a while, you're right. I did lose a lot of friends that era. You're right. I agree with Jackie on that. I mean, some poetry I still appreciate, but I also was like, there was a time period where it was like, it was just too much. Like, what's going on? It's the same poem over and over again. Although there was some dude that did one called I'll never forget the line. He's like, European on me. And that was the name of the poem, European on me. So European on me. I was like, that was good. I like that. I never forget that.
Clever.
But hey, look, don't take that to mean anything. I am a weirdo. So the things I like and dislike and the reasons I like and dislike things make absolutely no logical sense to anybody but me and my multiple personalities.
As long as everybody's happy, Jackie.
It's, as long as we're not fighting each other, we're okay.
Peace.
Yay. Oh, we're on the air.
Oh, good morning to the Franklin household. Hey, how you feel?
She was laughing at European on me.
Oh,
she busted out laughing at that.
Well, that was funny. Welcome, everybody.
Tony Medina. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
You're welcome. No problem. It's the Remix Morning Show. Good morning. Hope everybody is bright-eyed and bushy-tailed as we enter. Are we day 5 of World War III? I don't know what day. Did they announce World War III, or we should just assume that we're in it? So
yeah, we're just in it. But just slide on in. Just yep. Mm-hmm.
All righty. Well, let us be in all of our delusions together. Let us be in our dissociative state at the same time. Let's all dissociate together. So it's here we are on Black Liberation Media Remix Morning Show, Thursday edition on the 5th day of March. Kamal K. Franklin in the building. Jacqueline Luke Mon in the building. Kim Brown over here. Ear Doctor back there. Remixes, y'all in the chat. Thank you so much, per usual, for all of our faithful, devoted viewers and members and participants of this illustrious channel, helping to bring us a smidge of liberation before it's all said and done. I don't even know where to begin. We could start wherever we all want to start. I want to say this real quick. We could talk about it or not talk about it, but I just wanted to mention this because the news spin of the events coming out of the Middle East, the U.S. American media tale is amazing. I was watching NBC News last night, and they were talking to their international correspondent, Richard Engel. Richard Engel was over there in Israel, and he said, oh, there's a lot of cross-border fighting between Hezbollah and Lebanon and the Israelis. And I'm like, are you going to mention that Lebanon has been invaded, or are we? He didn't even mention it. And I said, wow, that seemed to be a critical piece of information to exclude from your report. It's not cross-border fighting. Israel has invaded Lebanon. I just wanted to.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, that's what they do. Yeah.
No, go ahead, Kamal.
Oh, no, I would say that's how they do. That's the propaganda game of giving you as little information as possible for you to be able to do nothing with it. I did see a good stat that said that 59% of so-called Americans are against the war. So that's good in terms of the outset, because the longer it goes, the more people will be against it. And hopefully that means it won't last as long as what they're planning. But I mean, they're not against it because they got information from the US media, right? They're not against it for that, because it's the propaganda system is here to tell you that this is a just war, that why would the Iranians dare shoot at US bases in the region? How crazy is that for them to do that? And if they posed what is it? Existential? What's the existential? Existential
and an immediate, imminent
yeah, I mean, this if the past 2+ years of the U.S. corporate media lying about a genocide every single day, practically never mentioning the IDF, never mentioning the word occupy, like literally not using certain words to describe Israel carrying out a genocide for 2+ years. We all saw that. So I'm just like, when people responded with the, like, oh, the people, they're Iranians are dancing in the streets, and they're talking about videos of like 40 Iranians in the diaspora in some European country. And that's what corporate media decides to show as a response from Iranians to the US and Israel bombing their country, but doesn't show the millions of people in the country coming out, like literally the next day, barely the next day after the first bombing, when they find out that their leader is assassinated and his family. But corporate media doesn't talk about it. They have never said that his family was killed with him. Never said that. Still, they have never shown the footage of the people in Iran and in the surrounding countries and regions also protesting and tearing up the U.S. embassies, many of which have now had to be closed. Because people in Iraq, the Shias in Iraq, look, the Shias in Iraq are like, you know what? We are tired of y'all. We gonna finish what we started. So we're not going, and especially now that corporate media in this country already owned by, what was it, 9 corporations before now, and now that the Zionists are about to complete another major media deal, the Zionists own U.S. media. They just do. And they're never going to tell the truth. And please hear me when I say this. I am not saying that U.S. media is owned by the Jews. Don't do that. Zionists. They own U.S. corporate media. They also own all the social media outlets now. So this is why we're not going to be told the truth about what's going on in Iran or in the regions around it now by these people, because this is Israel's war of Eretz Israel. That's why Lebanon was invaded, because that is territory that Israel has wanted to establish Eretz Israel. And nobody in corporate media in this country is going to say any of those words. They're not going to say those words. They're not going to call it an invasion. They're not going to call it an occupation. They may not even say Eretz Israel.
They may not even say war.
Yeah, because they want to keep this
war.
about Iran is at fault. But Iran didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and Iran is being accused of doing things it ain't even did. God, I loathe to say this, but Tucker Carlson reported that Mossad agents allegedly were arrested in Saudi Arabia, and I want to say Qatar, allegedly, consider the source here, but allegedly trying to bomb either oil refineries or some of their sensitive infrastructure. And it's like, oh, you don't say.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's interesting too. This short-sightedness from the so-called Arab Muslim leadership of these nation states. You're basically making Israel the hegemon, or helping make Israel the hegemon of the region, because you're getting some short-term payoffs or deals with the United States. The Israeli military now is going to go unchecked, because there aren't going to be any, which means in terms of like what Jackie is saying, their idea of expansion is region-wide. Greater Israel is a project which is going to remove, an attempt to remove not continually Palestinians from their land, taking part of Lebanon, taking part of Syria, and all under the guise of like they're defending themselves, but they're taking more land, and they're going to be fully integrated into the region because of the short-term interests of money making, that is going to basically again set this up where you have Western bosses telling you what to do and what not to do, and meanwhile the people are suffering, so forth and so on. So it's it's not like it's some shock, because these different leadership, this different leadership has for decades shown themselves to be compliant to Western interest. But it is their people who are going to suffer, which they don't care about, of course. And why they cut these deals to continually get rich. But basically, if this continues the way it is for another 20 years until another force gets built up or Iran is able to recover, it is Israel which is going to be the hegemon of the region, and folks striking back at it. We'll put it like this: Israel will strike first and claim anybody is striking back at it in the first place. So, I don't think anything's going to really change until some of these so-called Arab and or Muslim leaders get overthrown themselves.
But the money is being fucked up big time right now, Kamau. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing moving through the Strait of Hormuz. No fly zones across the region. People are stuck, trapped in Dubai and other places. And it's like the money has come to a halt. And I appreciate that. I hate that Iran is going through what they're doing, but they said that they would do exactly this. Were they to be attacked again, they was going to smack everybody, and everybody's getting smacked. I hope you're happy. Yep. No oil's moving through the region. As we see here in the U.S., gas prices went up immediately. I want to say at least they said 20 cents on the news. I want to say locally it probably went up more like 50 or 60 cents over the past week and some change. So the economic effects globally are already starting to ripple. And it's like, okay, somebody's going to have to cry uncle here, because we know this world global economy moves on oil and tourism and travel. And for those things to be halted outright for an indeterminate amount of time, raises all the eyebrows like, oh.
Yeah, Iran has to survive survive in the sense of they have to keep doing what you're saying they're doing, I feel like, for another 3 or 4 weeks, right? And I think that's the big push of what this war is. Again, I don't think there's going to be a ground invasion. They don't want that smoke.
They're already planning one on the Kurdistan.
What they're planning to do is to get the Kurdish to try to invade.
Right.
They're not. The U.S. and Israel are not putting troops on the ground. And so as long as Iran can withstand the air bombardment, in my opinion, for another 3 or 4 weeks, it does change the trajectory. And when I say they can withstand it, they can continue to do what you're saying, firing missiles, drones into these neighboring countries to destabilize their ability to have tourist dollars, to do business as usual, because then that begins to wreck their economies. Not because in some of these countries are not even countries, right? They're kingdoms, they're fiefdoms. They're the largest populations in these countries are workers who are bussed in basically to work. So they don't have any allegiance to them. They're not necessarily worried about being overthrown. What's happening is that these fiefdoms are worried about losing their economic base of the travel, the resources, and all that kind of stuff that people come in and do conferences or whatever. So in a lot of ways, I think if Iran can sustain and or survive for another 3 weeks doing what you're doing, it changes the trajectory of these regional players asking for a deal themselves or wanting a deal themselves. I think if I don't know what's going to happen if the Kurds from Iraq decide to foolishly enter Iran, which will be to draw out Iranian troops on the ground to make them easier to bomb from the sky, right? It's not so much, I think, that the Kurds are being, again, used as a pawn. They can't take over Iran, but they can draw Iranian ground forces out, which are now not out marching or doing anything, preparing their country for the next steps. But trying to draw them out to make them easier targets for Israel and Iran is part of what I think that deal is about also.
Yeah, I mean the whole thing, just the from a strategic point of view, what the U.S. and Israel has done is just stupid. There's no other way to, they think that this is a show of strength, that's why there's all of this, excessive bombing of Tehran. But they know that everything they've said about Iran is a lie. They know that there are no nuclear weapons. They know that they've never been trying to develop a nuclear weapon. And actually, the leader they just assassinated, claiming that he was secretly building a nuclear weapon, issued an edict that the country would never develop a nuclear weapon because it is against the faith. Because a weapon that would wipe out all of humanity is against the faith. So he issued it, and this was several years ago that he issued this edict. So this is, the U.S. has surveillance, and we know that Israel has surveillance of it. They know that everything they have been saying about Iran are a bunch of lies. And they also know that Iran has an entire network of underground military storage capability. Yes, Iran can drag this out for weeks.
Months.
They have studied the United States and Israel and their military operations using the countries surrounding them. They understand that's why all of those military bases are in those countries. That's why they're bombing these countries around them. For folks who don't know, like, why is Iran bombing places in Oman, in Bahrain? Why? Because U.S. military bases are in those countries, and those bases are where the attacks on Iran come from whenever Israel and the U.S. decide to bomb Iran. And for years, for decades, Iran has been telling the U.S. and Israel, leave us alone, man. We are abiding by the JCPOA. We are members of the International Atomic Energy Association. They inspect our stuff. We will agree to these ridiculous conditions for nuclear weapons that we're not building. Okay, fine, leave us alone, because we have been watching you for decades. We know all about your capabilities, and we know your weaknesses. Trust me, you do not want to mix it up with us, because you will never get out. And that is how Iran has built their military, as a response to any attack from the U.S. and Israel. So can they drag this out and keep this going for three weeks? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Unfortunately, even though the US government and military strategists in the Pentagon know this, nobody in the White House is listening to them. They're not listening, and they won't listen. And it's a mess. But that's where we are. So it's going to be horrible for the people of Iran. But I don't see any way out of this, because the US is not going to retreat, and Iran can't retreat. They cannot retreat, because a retreat for them at this point would mean complete annihilation, and they cannot do that. And they wouldn't expect them to.
I appreciate the Ayatollah Khomeini issuing that fatwa, and as the U.S. and Israeli forces assassinated him, I said, "Oh, you've killed the one person who said they did not want nuclear, that agreed. The person, the HIIC, I guess, the head Iranian in charge, said we're not going to do this nuclear bomb, and they killed him. Way to go." Way to go. Because who knows? I mean, I don't know. I don't even want to use the term like hardliners or anything like that, because that sounds like Western rhetoric. But others in the leadership of Iran may be saying right now, this is why we should have had a nuclear weapon all along. Like we should never have abandoned our nuclear weapon program because of this situation that we're dealing with in this instant.
You know who's sitting pretty right now looking at all this? North Korea. North Korea. A mid-sized country, not again, a country that militarily speaking would not be a threat to anybody in terms of it being, except for like where it's strategically located next to China, but they can't go invade North Korea. They can't drop bombs on North Korea, because they know if they do, North Korea has a response, right? And so whether people like it or not, what the world that they've set up is the lesson learned, is that you better be able to respond to Western hegemony. Otherwise, you got to basically, I was going to say something nasty, but you basically got to capitulate to Western interests otherwise, right? And that is again, the threat of Iran similarly is the threat of the good example, but again, the threat of a nation state that says, we don't want your culture. We don't want your politics. We don't want your ideas. We want our own. Leave us alone. Like as Jackie said, and if you won't leave us alone, as they have not done, then we will create strategic deterrence to get to do everything we can to get you to understand that as you try to surround us, we will fight back. So the great crime of Iran is that it actually built an axis of resistance to fight back from Western hegemony, to fight back from being attacked, to support Palestinians from having their land continually taken away, to offer another vision about what the Middle East could be outside of Western capitalist interests that is joined up with these fiefdoms in the Middle East that take all the resources for themselves and have starving populations. So you look at some of this stuff that's happening. It's the threat is not Iran somehow striking the United States or striking Israel or having nuclear weapons. The threat is that Iran is saying, we don't want to be on board with you. We don't want to be a part of what you're doing. And we have a sovereign right to attempt to build a society the way that the vast majority of our folks thinks it should be done. And if we have internal disputes or whatever, that's an Iranian thing, right? I'm not here sitting here telling you I think the Iranian government is some perfect illustration of governance or anything like that. But the response is certainly a response by Iranians. It's not a response of the West to come up with ideas and lies and propaganda to insist that they get the bomb. When you look at polls around, even some of the polls around what the folks think of the Iranian Revolution, there's still vast support for the Iranian Revolution. Again, even as people may want some changes in how things are done, right? So the whole idea that you get to bomb somebody because of that's all propaganda. The only reason they're being bombed is because they refuse to heal under U.S. hegemony and U.S. and Western hegemony. So that's why this attack is going. And they finally got a nut in who's crazy enough to say, I'm going to act. I feel like they're weakened, right? So I'm going to act on this. And that's what Trump represents, is the person willing to do this.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to give any previous presidents any credit here, but at the same time, it's like, there's a reason why Biden, Obama, this one, that one did not. We've been fucking with Iran, but kind of from a distance with our sanctions and with, you know, the ringing of the country with our military bases. But to invade Iran or to attack Iran directly is something that U.S. presidents no U.S. president before Trump has been foolish enough to do it, because it's a quagmire. It's impossible. This is not going to be Iraq. And Iraq was not a walk in the park, right? So whatever ease, obviously we can think back to W standing on the flight carrier in his little flight suit, talk about mission accomplished. And then the war went on for 8 more
another 8 years.
Well, that's why they're doing just like an aerial war, right? Because they don't want to put troops in the ground. But the question still is, I think how many mass deaths there are going to be in Iran. Iran has no air defense against this stuff, right? They don't have a modern air force. They don't have the technology of a dome system that stops these things from happening. So we've literally already had over 1,000 Iranians murdered by U.S. and Israel air assault. And so part of this is, and again, this is controversial or whatever like that, but post the October 7th action, the weakening of the axis of resistance is what partly also why they decided to go in now, right? They decided to use what they feel is overwhelming military strength to basically wipe out the axis of resistance. And although I don't think the axis has been wiped out, it certainly has been weakened during this time period. And I think that's what Trump is just jumping on, the fact that they've been able to weaken the axis of resistance. And now they think they can put the final so-called nail in the coffin of it.
But even in a weakened state, look at the hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars of literal, you know, either damage to commerce or interruption of business as usual. It's been less than a week.
Yeah.
You know what
well,
I'm
that's
saying?
the big question, right? Can they withstand and continue that pain on Western economic systems, even those in the region, to make this war stop? Yeah.
Yeah. I think they can, because like I said, they've been planning for this. Mm-hmm. They have been organizing for this, and they've been strategizing for how they do exactly that. And I also hope they can, even though I wish that somebody in this whatever it is get some sense and says, you know what, stop this shit right now. But I know that's not going to happen. So this is going to be horrible. It is going to be long and drawn out. It is going to be just as it's going to be horrible. And on the other side of it, at the end of the day, Iran must not fall. Because if Iran falls, everything falls in the Middle East. Everything is up for grabs for Israel. There is no more Palestine if Iran falls. Do you understand? But it also creates a situation where the resistance reconfigures itself, right? Do you know what I mean? Because these kinds of things, like, you can hate Hamas all you want, but Hamas wouldn't exist if the occupation had ever stopped. Do you know what I mean? So this if there is a generation of people in Iran who are younger and who didn't live through the revolution and who maybe didn't understand how important the revolution was there, and I don't think that is generally true of a lot of young people in Iran, but if there are, I'm sure there are, this is their reference point for why the revolution must be maintained and defended. So even if in this period Iran does not prevail in getting the U.S. and Israel to back off, this will continue. This will serve to continue this attitude of resistance in that region. This will only entrench deeper anti-Zionist, anti-imperialist sentiment among a new generation of folks in that region. So,
I think what you said is extremely important. Is like so even as I'm casting doubt on how long or what may happen or whatever, resistance will continue, and it will reformulate in different ways. And so it may not look the way it's looked over the past 30 or 40 years, with Iran being at least in that region, a place where an axis of resistance could exist against U.S. imperialism. But it will continue, right? There will be other centers. There will be other ways in which people resist. This is about an ideological battle. This is not for people who are part of the who are resisting. This is not about we want to make money. This is about we don't believe in a Western system of hierarchy and imperialism and hegemony. And so there will be other ways. You know, it's terrible as it is. If Cuba falls, there will be other ways in which resistance begins to build and happen, if not in Cuba and in other places. Because where there is oppression, there will be resistance, and it will reformulate in other ways. And so, yes, this is a period of rethinking about how resistance happens, but resistance will continue. So we should continue to remember that, and we should also continue to remember the ear doctors waiting in the wings to bring us the special time period where myself and others really get down deep into the history of like hip hop and really, like, you know, it's the Kamal Franklin Hip Hop Minute. I think that's what we're calling it, if I'm not mistaken, featuring Minister Surfer. Isn't that what we said?
Yeah, but I was coming on here to talk about Western propaganda. Now, when we talk about Iron Sheik, now, I mean, you're going to talk about not having love of Iran. It's been a while. All right. But anyway, make sure y'all stay tuned. We also
Why you do that, man, like that?
I mean, that's the earliest I knew about Iran. I mean, we talk about how long they've been propagandized against.
That's a good point, though.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, that's what I'm here for.
That is a good point, though, because I'm a wrestling fan, and I loved the Iron Sheik.
She was the man.
Because what was the counterpart? Because you know, wrestling.
It was
Sergeant Slaughter.
Sergeant Slaughter. That's right. That's right. And I love the Iron Sheik because Sergeant Slaughter was a dick.
Yes,
that was it. That was the only reason. I know nothing about Iran. I didn't know what Iran was. I was a child.
He was a super
I was watching wrestling, and this big old square-jawed white man with the Marine, you know, with the fatigues comes running down. Iron Sheik is in the ring with his flag, and people are booing. I'm like, what he do? What, I don't understand. And then this big old square-jawed white man come running down the aisle and sliding in the ring, and he's I'm like, oh, he's a dick. I'm rooting for the guy with the flag.
Yep. And Hulk Hogan had us singing, I am a real American.
Yep.
Fight for your life. All right. Let's go ahead and
plan rallies.
I bet. Let's take a break real quick and come back right here on the Remix Morning Show. Let's go.
We capitalize and monopolize on everything we see.
Hey!
Minister, make him say,
Yeah. Peace and love, good people.
What's good, fam? How you?
All is well. How you, brother?
I'm doing great. Ready for another hip-hop story. Who we talking about today?
Well, this is Women's History Month. So this month, all the hip-hop stories for this month, we're going to be highlighting some of our dynamic sisters in hip-hop. And this week, we are talking about Mia Young, also known as Mia X, also known as Mama Mia, also known as Betty Rocker. Yes. Now, she isn't an American rapper and songwriter and actress. She's also a best-selling author and chef from New Orleans.
What?
She began. She has a book. I will talk about that later. She started her rap career in the late 80s and early 90s while she was still in high school. She performed with a mobile entertainment union with Manny Fresh, actually, and it was called New York Incorporated. And she made a debut in 1992 on a single called Ask Them Suckers, which was a response song to another group down at the 3-9 Posse had a song called Ask Them Hoes. So she made a response song called Ask Them Suckers. In 1993, she released a maxi single called The Payback. In 94, she signed an album contract with Emotion Records and released her debut album, which was called Mommy Dearest. in 1995. Then she got scooped up by Master P. He signed her. They went the whole, label thing with Emoji. Signed her in 1995, making her the first lady of the No Limit Records. And she released her debut, not a debut album, but an album with No Limit in 1995, which was called Unladylike. You know what I'm saying? And actually, the first album that she released was actually called Good Girl Gone Bad, and it really didn't do too well. But the next album, Unladylike, that did very well. It went gold. It was on the Billboard charts. That was in 1997, 1998. She released the Mama Drama, and that went gold as well. She's known for her collaborations, not only as a solo artist, but through any of the No Limit records. Mama Mia stood out for me as a lyricist. She was the best lyricist on the whole label to me, mystical style-wise, but lyric-wise, Mama Mia for sure. So she actually appeared on Silk the Shocker's album, thank goodness, because he is terrible anyway. She appeared on Ice Cream Man, the Ghetto D, Charted to the Game, and she also helped to contribute to over 75 million records being sold by No Limit Records. In 1999, she took a hiatus. She had a traumatic year going on. During that year alone, she had 14 members in her family that was killed, including both of her parents. All this happened in an 18-year span. At the same time, No Limit Records was disbanding, so there was a lot going on in her life. And so she kind of pulled back from the rap side, started doing some ghostwriting, started working in real estate. In 2005, she returned with a song during the Hurricane Katrina. She had a song called My FEMA People, which was a response to the disastrous condition that was happening down in New Orleans. In 2010, she was diagnosed with cancer and she beat the cancer. However, during the surgery, part of her cornea was torn off, and she has now only 73% vision in one of her eyes. And she's still out doing her thing. We saw her in Versus, where she stepped up there, that picture right there. She stepped up and rocked the spot again. She's in the studio now doing some new stuff. But in 2018, she released her first book, a cookbook. It was called Things My Grandmama Told Me, Things My Grandmama Showed Me, a cookbook of memories from 1975 to 2001. And she said the book is a part of her life story, part of the family recipes that are honoring her great grandmother, who she called Mima, who helped to raise her. So Mia X, again, she's still doing a thing beyond entertainment. Again, the whole pivot that, you could go from one thing to the other. So she became an author and a chef. She's still doing her thing as a chef. She has a line of seasonings and the whole nine. So big up to Mama Mia X. She is a true living example of hip hopstery, and we salute her during Women's History Month.
Word. Salute to Mama Mia X. Now let's get back to it right here on the Remix Morning Show.
Yo, this for all the thugs out,
When I do my documentary story,
I love Mia X. I love Mia X. I have been a Mia X fan since day, Minister Server, since day. One of my favorite Mia X verses comes on Fiend's album. There's one in every family off the song called Big Timers. Roll up, big timer, big timer. I got money to the ceiling. Like, oh my gosh. Thank you so much, Minister Server, for highlighting one of No Limits, some down south rappers, because these niggas on these platforms is East Coast bias. So big up.
Supremacy running rampant.
Oh man.
Here.
Man. If it came out further south than DC, they don't want to hear it. I'm sorry.
And don't recognize DC?
Right. Further south than Newark, New Jersey.
See what I mean? See?
Yeah, exactly. Red Man is as far south as we get.
I'm waiting to hear Kamal's comment. We always wait for Kamal Kirk Franklin.
He don't.
He'll mess with me X like that.
I didn't know who she was. My bad.
Wow. Well,
no, she's incredible, Minister Server, because I know there was a somewhat recent No Limit and like Cash Money. They had a big show in New Orleans. This might have been a couple months ago, and they said Mia X was one of the highlights. Like she tore the stage down, And she is team whip them pots. I need to get that cookbook. I need all that good New Orleans cooking recipes.
Yeah, she's definitely doing the thing. And like I said, for me, she's always stood out lyrically. You know what I'm saying? P and all was cool, but none of them, you know, was really on that level. Theme was okay. You know, Mystical was good, but Mia was always the star of No Limit lyrically to me. So we definitely want to highlight her because a number of times, you know, when you have big crews like that, they maybe only have one, maybe two women in the whole crew. And Mia stood out in the whole crew. So big up to Mama Mia, Betty Rocker. You know what I'm saying?
All right. And big up to you, Minister Server. Thank you for coming through for another hip hop story. We will see you out in these streets. I'll see you next week.
Can you do somebody I know next time?
Oh, you know what?
Whoa, you need to expand your horizons there.
Can you do bring him back up? Bring him back up. Wait a minute.
Out, sir.
Oh,
bring him back
man.
up. Can you do Fabulous? Yeah, I was listening to Fabulous in the car.
What the devil?
Come on, you are losing your cred as a hip hop expert, man.
Fab is nice, but come on,
bro. Come on, bro.
Fabulous deserves a hip hop moment, a segment.
I mean, Fabulous is nice, but the whole point of hip hop is people that people may not know about. Come on now, work with us, brother. Work with us.
Why are we gonna do that? If I don't know about them.
Whoa.
All right. Thank you. Speaking of, we were supposed to be doing classical breakdown, but
I heard of them.
Kim Brown got some things to do, so we are not going to be doing that.
You're not
today.
going to do Spinderella?
Not today.
Not today. Next week. So I guess
maybe even tomorrow if my brother.
Bring back Minister Server.
I had to come on and do a Women's History Month mix, so I'll do that at 11 today. Right.
Minister Server, do you want to
hold on? Let me take that off.
Can you get that off? Me and Minister Server talking. Minister, do you want to? Maybe me and him should do a special salt and pepper thing then.
No,
he said no.
If we talk about your beard, but other than that,
I'm a pass on that, my brother. No, my brother.
Oh man, what a reference! No one said very few.
In fact, I'm definitely looking forward to bringing down Kim Brown doing salt and pepper because that's the era. And I know she's gonna handle it. So no, Kamal, we're gonna pass on that, my brother.
Minister Server, you might be well served joining us. Well served, pardon the pun, but you might be well served joining us because again, I need context around salt and pepper. I was a child, you know what I mean?
I'm definitely down.
Next Thursday, it's on and popping.
That'll work.
Oh, please.
Come on. You got time to do your notes for next week now.
I'll get some notes. Why don't you tell me ahead of time who you're going to do, and then I can do a little research and sound like I know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
That'll work. I will do that.
All these underground rappers.
Just stop. Just stop.
Gold and platinum selling rappers underground.
And if you're in the ATL tomorrow, please come out to lunch, break beats and blends. I'll be doing all women music, so come through for that. All right. And that's it.
Thanks, Ear Doctor. Thank you, Minister Server.
Thank
you, Remixers. Thank you all for joining us. Thursday edition Remix Morning Show, Black Liberation Media. Please engage with the content. Like, share, subscribe, become a member, support us if you're able. blkliberationmedia.org or go over to the Patreon, patreon.com/Black Liberation Media. Tons and tons of exclusive content you will find over there. Camus, did you get emails from me?
Yes, I have 2 of them up. Which one you want to go with first?
The email that's labeled more stories, because I would like for us to expand beyond Iran, but there is some interesting facets here. There appears to be the video with Trump trying to talk shit about Spain, because obviously the U.S. is like, we need niggas to help because for reasons. And there was allegedly a drone launched towards Turkey. Unclear as to whose drone that was, right? And the way it's being reported is, the Iran sent a drone over to Turkey and the NATO forces shot it down. NATO, they're trying to drag a NATO response into this. But the president of Spain, or the prime minister, I'm not sure what Spain's governance is, anyway, told the United States that they could not use Spanish air bases to deploy bombing campaigns from their air base. And Trump did not like that.
Okay. I'm going to start it over.
Finalmente, no a repetir los errores. trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain. And now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right. We don't want it. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it.
En primer lugar, no a la quiebra de un derecho internacional que nos protege a todos, especialmente a los más indefensos, a la población civil. En segundo lugar, no a asumir que el mundo solo puede resolver sus problemas a base de conflictos, de bombas. Y finalmente, no a repetir los errores del pasado. En definitiva, la posición del gobierno de España se resume en 4 palabras: no a la guerra.
We're going to cut off all trade with Spain. We don't want anything to do with Spain. And now Spain...
Well, go get your sangria while it's reasonably priced. No, I'm just saying. So even since this, the White House, KKK Caroline, has come out and said that actually Spain has changed their mind and they're going to let us use their bases. And then Spain immediately replied on social media, no, we did not change our mind. Keep y'all raggedy asses off of our fucking bases, please and thank you. But, you know, other NATO countries, other NATO members are responding. I think the Charles de Gaulle, France, is sending something. Why? Okay.
They can't wait to jump in. They can't wait to. It's so wild. Like, I guess I saw one news story that talked about how they are on the sidelines, and because they weren't alerted or they weren't asked to join the bombing campaign. That's their biggest disappointment. France, England, their biggest disappointment is like, how come we can't be a part of the bombing campaign? It's like, hey, we used to be friends. Why can't we be friends again and you let us bomb with you, kind of thing? Why only Israel? That's their biggest complaint. Right? Because most of them would come out. Canada, who everybody was trying to suggest that somehow Canada was leaving the U.S. orbit or not as Canada came out with a statement right away that Iran brought this on themselves. Like, they bring these statements out immediately over and over again because they're part of the imperialist class and they have no interest in it. They just want to be included, right? Or again, they're the new liberals who are like, oh, there might be a better way to do it, kind of thing. Let's go back to the Obama way of doing it. Let's just suffocate them, right? So,
yeah, and what we don't know about Spain is that, and this is, I think that this is the result of the election that they just had. Their government is a coalition government led by, what's his name, Pedro Sanchez. And the party he represents is the Spanish Socialist Workers Party, PSOE. Actually, the government's been in power since 2018, has a progressive agenda, strong social policies, and alignment with left ideas. So Spain seems to have a left government, and they have been pretty consistent in voting against the bullshittery in the UN for quite some time. So yeah, this is good to know about Spain. But don't miss what Trump said. That he said, I mean, they can say that we can't use, but they don't. So they don't have to let us. We can use it if we want to. We could just go in, fly in, and use it. Nobody's going to tell us we can't. So for me, if somebody asks me, you know, Jackie, I want to use your walk-in tub, and I say, well, no, this is my walk-in tub. You don't live here. You cannot come and put your dirty behind in my walk-in tub. It's mine. And they say to me, you can't stop me from using your lovely walk-in tub. I don't care that it's in your house behind the locked door with the keys that you own, that you're supposed to have sovereign control over. I'm just going to come in and use your tub. To me, that sounds like a threat. So I have every right now to fortify myself and my walk-in tub from you breaking into my house, using my tub. We can't, don't ignore the silly stuff this man says, because everybody, even to your point earlier, Kim, everybody in the U.S. government and the military understood that a direct attack on Iran is folly. But it's not like they have not always wanted to do it, because Hillary Clinton herself said that if she were elected president, she wanted Iran to know that she was going to attack them. She said it. So they understand what the conditions are. They just don't care. So when this man says, nobody's going to stop us, nobody's going to tell us what we can, he means that. And nothing else matters. International law, sovereignty, all the stuff that they campaigned on, that they bitched and moaned and whined and cried about all these years. Oh, the Constitution, the rule of law, the rules-based order, all bullshit. Always has been bullshit to them. What he said just now, that is what they have always believed. Mm-hmm. And we need to be clear about that. So Spain, that man threatened you. There you go.
Yeah, I would only add that there's a Washington consensus around invading Iran or destroying Iran or eliminating Iran for decades. And I forgot the name of the white paper, but remember there was this white paper, like Real Men Want to Go to Iran. So particularly amongst the neocon set, the idea of an outright invasion has been on the table for decades. And again, they just saw this as the time in which, again, having somebody like Trump in office where they could literally try to do this stuff, right? With the help of it, with Israel, not necessarily the help of Israel, with Israel's management around the reformation. Again, I mean, we haven't been exposed to them, but they're clear as day. But these plans for hegemonic control of the Middle East through commerce and destroying the Iranian axis of resistance as a center point to stop the continued erosion of sovereignty for these Middle Eastern nations. They want to put that to bed. And with Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Jordan, the Gulf countries, so-called Gulf monarchs, they all see this as an opportunity for further exploitation of the region, not for the benefits of their people, but for the benefits of getting rich. They have no ideology other than money. So that is their ideology. And if they can try to stomp out what the Iranian Revolution has built for the last 50 years, that is what they're going to attempt to do now.
I think Trump is meeting in the White House, I want to say today, with defense weapons manufacturers. In the White House, we have a meeting scheduled. Got to ramp up production. Mm-hmm. Northrop Grumman, BAE Systems, DynCorp. You got to ramp up production. We running out of missiles. Mm-hmm. And listen, when the bombs began to fall in Iran, I'm pretty sure John McCain's corpse immediately got an erection, right? Like, don't y'all remember? John McCain caught a little shit for saying bomb Iran, right? He got a little shit for that, but he meant that shit though.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh, that's right.
So speaking of Congress, Kamal, if you go to the first email, please. Mm-hmm. The clip, and we do not have to watch the entirety of this clip. However, it is very important that we watch this clip from the beginning. So yesterday, there was an incident in a Senate chamber. There was oversight. There was a committee hearing, whatever. It was disrupted by protesters. I want to say that maybe Code Pink, but maybe some others. And one of the people that I think he's running for a Senate seat in North Carolina. His name is Ryan McGinnis. I'm sorry, I can't remember his name, but he disrupted this proceeding and was assaulted pretty intensely. And this video is making the rounds today.
Okay, I'm gonna fight this war for Israel. Let's go. Come on, let's go. America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Israel. Your inability to name that shows your exemptness as leaders. This is wrong, and nobody wants to fight for Israel. A reminder to all our Commandant, please stand up as a Marine and stand up for America.
It gets really awful right here.
No one wants to fight for Israel. Oh my God. Thank you for your service. The senator broke his hand. The senator broke his hand.
He's a Marine. Somebody come help him.
Control your Senate committee.
Look at you guys. You're robots. You won't even look back. Look at you guys. You're like robots. Oh my God. What is happening?
It looks like though he suffered either a broken hand or a broken arm, purportedly helped along by, is it Senator Leahy?
Sheehy.
What state is he from?
I don't know, but they better find him. Look.
Describe what happened, please. If the play-by-play as he's being manhandled by U.S. Capitol Police, and they're pulling him out of the chamber.
Mm-hmm. Now, first of all, you're correct. This was Code Pink, and that man is a retired Marine, and he is running for office in the Green Party. But he is a retired Marine. That is his uniform that he had on. So you see how they responded to somebody in full dress blues. And this is not the first time, right? But this is the first time, I think, that a sitting U.S. senator got involved in the assault of a protest at a public hearing, right? And as far as we can tell, it was the senator who caused that man's arm or hand to be broken. That hand, what you heard, that snap, yes, that was them breaking his hand in that moment. He is also, his name is Brian. In a longer video, or I think it's the same video, you can hear Medea as they're still dragging him out.
Mm-hmm.
They all heard that man's limb break. And you saw them step back for a second, but they didn't stop dragging him out. They took him out into the hallway, and then the pigs are trying to handcuff him behind his back. And he's standing there like, my arm's broken, bro. And the cop is like, oh, I understand. And all of the people in the room, I'm glad that because I didn't see that part before with I think her name is Michelle with Code Pink, asking the people in that room, y'all won't even turn around and look at this man. You won't even turn around and look at what they did to him. And you're talking about respect the troops and this type of bullshit. And then, of course, there's the police that we're always talking about. Well, when is somebody going to do what's right? How do you arrest somebody who you just saw a U.S. senator break his arm, and he's in a full military uniform? I don't know what else people need to see to understand that if you are waiting for resistance from the inside to happen, it's not. It is not going to happen. Because how do the elected officials and all of the people in all of these rooms continue to just sit there and let security and the police and the elected officials themselves assault people for standing up against genocide, for standing up against a war that the people who allegedly elected them do not want? But this is supposed to be a free country. All of the contradictions are exposed. So people should move on from believing that you can do anything on the inside of this system in either party to fix this. And the focus really now has to be on destroying this shit, or else there will be so much more of this. This will continue. So the question is always, what are you going to do? Are you going to keep voting for these folks? You going to keep hoping that you can find a progressive who you can slide on the inside and they're going to fix it all? Talrico's a nice guy, but he ain't going to fix this. So now what you going to do? You know, that guy, Brian, he's already decided what he's going to do. What y'all going to do?
Your thoughts,
this is crazy to me. It's not shocking by any means, except, you know, it's the individual incident that's shocking to see them once again do what they do on a regular basis, which is to stop dissent. And again, to see the coherency of their strategy, which is just to ignore, to deny, those people not turning around. And I think she was right when she like robots, people who are like, no, this is our system and our system does no wrong. There's no reason to turn around. He's going to get what's coming to him. And that's their attitude. Or people just sit there like they're frozen, like they can't do anything. And that's why the US system is able to operate, because the people, the 59% who say they're against this war are not out in the streets stopping thousands of people from being murdered. So internally, you know, you have to be able to bring out the masses of people into the streets. And it's not like it happens right away. Remember the Vietnam War, the Iraqi War, it took decades to end the Vietnam War, even though there were mass protests, bombings, militant action. But at the very least, it showed that there was a sentiment that was purely anti-war. And it changed the way America operated militarily for decades, right? Up until Iraq, because the United States refused to put troops on the ground again, similarly to what we're talking about, the possibility with Iran or what happened in Iraq, because in a ground war where the US had to put troops in somebody else's country, they couldn't last, right? No matter how much aerial bombing they did, again, low estimates is that they killed over 3 million Vietnamese people. And you talked about Cambodia, Laos, but over 3 million people. They basically destroyed a country, destroyed lives. And no one remembers it as some great Holocaust of humanity. You have to be a lefty to remember that. In our history books, it was the war that America lost because it didn't do enough, right? Their heroes were captured, like John McCain, right? But the real history of Vietnam is that it was an imperialist war which killed millions and millions and millions of people, and where the people did not give up because they wanted sovereignty, they wanted self-determination. And so we're like that. So that same thing, is happening now. But what we don't have is the same amount of people who are out in the streets en masse angry. Of course, some people are out in the streets at times, but it's going to take that mass break from folks to actually attempt to say they want something different. It doesn't mean that we're going to win either, but it's the attempt that slows down the system and its way of perpetrating the imperialist ambitions that it has. And so, you know, all of us don't like to do those kind of actions, but I actually applaud, you know, it's not like, so again, it's not the reaction of the state is not a shock, but it is, again, another demonstrative model of what the state will do over and over again when people do stand up. And so, you know, you have to applaud that people are willing to put their bodies on the line. And again, remember during the Vietnam War too, there were military people who turned against the war, which did, again, help these mainstream white lunatics say, oh, maybe something should change. Because all of a sudden, the people in the uniforms were saying, we're going to throw away these so-called medals of freedom that they gave us. So it does take like this kind of stretch of people from various backgrounds. Doesn't mean we all have to work with everybody, right? But people should know their roles and play their roles. And if that person is playing their role by telling you that, again, I don't think the narrative is completely true that America is going to war for Israel or fighting war. America is fighting an imperialist war because it's imperialist. But I still think that kind of daring is important at this particular time period. People have to take those daring chances to try to destabilize the country that's perpetrating genocide and murder all across the world.
Mm-hmm. I want to switch gears because there's another story I want us to get to. The second clip in the first email, Brother Kamau, because as we watch America do American things around the globe, we cannot forget that America still continues to do American things right here to marginalize people which include many folks in our community. And there was a brother who was shot and killed by police in Connecticut. I want to say this was Hartford, Connecticut. 55-year-old man who was experiencing a mental health crisis. And the police showed up, you know, to their credit, they gave him 5.5 whole minutes before they decided to open fire on him, in spite of the fact that he was not threatening nor attacking them. But this is the story.
We're not going to have that in the city of Hartford.
That is the anger activists in Hartford are feeling tonight. It comes after the death of Stephen Jones, who was shot 9 times by police. He was holding a large knife in the middle of a mental health crisis.
Tonight, the police union telling Eyewitness News the shooting was 100% justified. Your reporter Dylan Fearon is live outside City Hall right now. He's been following all of these developments. He has more from both sides. Dylan?
Well, Mark, Aaron, Stephen Jones died yesterday afternoon. He was 55 years old. Activists are furious over this tonight. They want the officer who shot him Friday morning to be charged.
The police did not have to shoot him 9 times. Just did for Stephen Jones.
Cornell Lewis spent the morning on Main Street. He wants City Hall to hear him loud and clear.
A man was shot down on Blue Hills Avenue like a dog. Justice.
Lewis and other activists, Carl Adams and Pastor Dexter Burke, aren't mincing words.
9 times in the same spot, that's senseless, cold-blooded murder. You're a danger not only to the police force, but to this entire community.
Pastor Burke is talking about Officer Joseph Magnano, who shot at Stephen Jones 9 times Friday. Jones was holding a large knife. Police say he was suicidal and had already cut himself. He was shot while walking towards Officer Magnano. For 5 minutes before the shooting, 3 officers ordered Jones to drop the knife. It's all caught on body cameras. Magnano, the 4th officer on scene, shot at Jones 30 seconds after arriving.
Drop the knife. No, drop the knife. Drop the knife. Drop it. Last time. Drop the knife. Drop it.
Activists say Jones didn't have to die.
Nobody attempted to get behind him. You could have gotten behind that man. As a grappler, I'm telling you, you could have got behind him, grabbed him low around the arms.
But the Hartford Police Union says Magnano was given no choice. In a statement, the union said the shooting was not only reasonable, but also legal. It says this was 100% justified use of deadly force, necessary, reasonable, and in full compliance with federal law, Connecticut state law, and Hartford Police Department policy. And Officer Magnano remains on administrative leave tonight, Mark and Aaron, as the Inspector General continues investigating. I'm your reporter live in Hartford tonight.
To be clear, the police are at fault here, full stop. If I had the capacity or the knowledge or the ability to do any sort of political training, I would try to encourage our people to not call or summon the police if one of your loved ones is experiencing a mental health crisis. They will die. Okay? There is not a 0% chance that police are going to arrive and be helpful. Okay? There's not a 0% chance that your loved one will survive this encounter with police. The people that you have summoned for assistance, if your loved one is behaving out of sorts or is even threatening violence, even to themselves. Again, the justification of the police is that this man was suicidal, so we decided to help him out with 9 bullets. The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah,
and go ahead, Kamal.
No, real quickly, again, anybody who thinks this was a dangerous situation, and maybe it was, but what happened to pepper spray? What happened to other ways of disarming? What happened to having shields that allow them to take somebody down if this person is, the fact that this person showed up 30 seconds on the scene and then decided to unload, or the fact that all these cops have their guns out, all the resources that the cops have to stop people or to block people or to they didn't have to just grab him and quote unquote put their life in danger. There are other ways in which he could have been stopped far short of anything that involved a gun. So it's ridiculous for them to say that this is justified by any law whatsoever. This is people who like having these guns, who want to feel like they're in danger, who want to feel like they're in control, and just don't give a damn about killing Black people. He was a 50-something. He could barely walk. Like, there was a 50-something-year-old man who was not in any position to really do anything to anybody before he was stopped. And having a mental breakdown, and the way to do it is to surround him with people with guns, and then to start shooting and go like, oh yeah, that was justified. End of story. And then again, I'm hoping that this becomes bigger, like to see these older gentlemen, these older men, being the lead organizers and activists. It is both heartening and also sad, right? And again, I'm hoping there's a larger community of people who are going to come out. But when their brother was shouting, like, you know, at this time somebody was just killed on your street, and again, we see the same thing. We're people just walking by, right? Where are the crowds? Where is the outrage? Hopefully, again, as the story spreads, more of it will happen. But to justify the murder of a man of that age, and obviously suffering from a mental disability or mental breakdown at that particular point, and to shoot him dead, it's just crazy. It's crazy, but it's America, and America loves to kill. Particularly, it loves to kill Black, brown, and or anybody who doesn't look like the white people who have the guns.
And, you know, this is also where organizing is really important, because it's one thing. I think it's true. Yeah, we shouldn't be calling the police for these kinds of issues. But what else is there, right? For people, you and I wouldn't call the police because we know better. But for the rest of our people living in these communities who are not organizers, who don't know anything about what we do, who we don't talk to, who don't listen to us, they don't know that there is any other option to deal with whatever problem they have other than to call the police. And that is also a reflection of how the system that exists does not exist to meet the needs of the people. Because if a system did exist to meet the needs of the people, then there would be crisis organizations to address these kinds of things. There would be mental health services and care to provide support for families and people to address these kinds of things. That there would be social workers, there would be an army of caseworkers that people could, and everybody would know that these services are available because the system provides such services to the people. But the system doesn't exist in this country to do anything for the people but exploit us for our labor. And when we become useless in whatever way, homelessness, mental health, failing, physical health, aging, they kill us. They'll either imprison us or kill us. So the system has to change. But in the meantime, what services are there for people to access to address these kinds of issues so they don't have to rely on the police? That is the missing part in all of this. And this is where organizing has to, we have to start thinking about, and I hate to say start thinking about, but we really should be focusing on building an alternative infrastructure for people to get their needs met where we know the state does not meet their needs. So if we're going to tell people, stop calling the police for mental health issues, what are we telling people to do when they need help if we're telling them not to call the police? Because without an alternative, we're basically just telling people, handle this situation yourself. And sometimes people aren't equipped to, but neither are the police. So where is the help for people who need something that we don't want the police to get involved in? You know what I mean? And this is not a criticism of anybody or anything in the situation. I'm just pointing out, like, the dialectical analysis of the situation yes, not calling the police for these things that is real, and we should not. But materially, if people need help in this area, what is there for them? And maybe these things exist in some places and they just don't know where to get that help, and we should make sure people know. But if these things don't exist, how do we build them for people so that they don't have to call the police? Our answers as organizers should never just be like a one solution kind of thing, because we are talking about systems and how one system doesn't provide what the people need, but we're trying to build a system that does.
I'm trying to put myself in the shoes of this man, and it's difficult because I don't know exactly what he was dealing with. I don't know what his state of mind was. I would imagine, though, if it were up to him, he would have rather have ended his life by his own hand than being shot 9 times by the cops, right? And I think that kind of maybe lends to a broader argument about how we view suicide writ large. We view it as something that people should be cured of. Oh no, you shouldn't have self-harming thoughts, and you shouldn't want to, take your own life. Well, maybe we should reconsider how we think that, right? Because if it were up to me, did I want to die by my own hand or have the pigs come and shoot me down in the front yard? Let me take myself out. I don't need the state's help to do that. And the fact that the state used that as an excuse, as their justification, well, he was suicidal and he had already cut himself. So what, you guys decided to help him to the other side? Like what are we saying here? So I hear what you're saying. We don't have alternatives built. However, I just want loved ones of those who deal with mental health crisis to understand, if you call the police, there's a very good chance your loved one is going to be murdered in front of you. So, we even though our choices are limited, if we have them at all, but that is a choice, right? You don't have to call them. And go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, and in some ways too, in terms of what he wants, we don't know what he wants because he was having a mental breakdown. And the fact that instead of looking at him as somebody that's having a mental breakdown, as opposed to the justifications that the cops are now offering, he was dangerous, he was trying to commit suicide, he was about to attack them. None of that could be true. It could be he just having a mental breakdown. He barely knows what he was doing.
Right.
And so then what is it that should be happening to give him a chance to recover from his mental breakdown, right? It certainly isn't to shoot him 9 times. And there is no argument, there's no argument that the state doesn't have the resources, as we're paying billions, if not trillions of dollars to kill over 1,000 people in Iran as we speak, and to build more bombs which are just used to kill. And again, most of these bombs, until there is a war, just sit there. No productive use whatsoever. Like Jackie said, you could literally flood a society with social workers to help people and do more good to save lives than building 1, 2, 3, 10, 1,000 bombs that they've already built. They just literally just sit there until they get glee in their eyes and decide, oh, what? Instead of killing people one at a time, we can go kill these other people overseas, thousands at a time, because no one really cares or notices, and no one's going to make it feel like if you kill 1,000 people, that affects you over here. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird thing. I know people aren't supposed to stop everything they're doing. At least people don't feel like they are. But sometimes it is a real weird thing to have to see when you look on social media and people throwing parties and doing everything else in the world to entertain themselves. And at the same time, you're like, the country is just bombing and dropping bombs and people with your money. And we are so removed from it that we don't even think that it's something that we should be involved in or stop or ask about or be outraged by. And again, it's just the true workings of a system of propaganda that you feel so disconnected from what's happening in the world that you just feel like, hey, that's not my problem. Like, what did they do to cause this? What did he do to make the police have to do this? Like, people walk around with those attitudes because they don't want to be involved, because we're just so disconnected, So, it's this one of those things where like it's we could create a different society if we somehow, going to Jackie's point, either wanted to or even as organizers began to really build out what that can look like. And again, it would come under attack, because if you're trying to save people's lives, that makes you enemy of the state.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you don't want the police to kill people. What the fuck is wrong with you?
You don't believe in law and order?
Yeah.
Real quick, before we go, because that story is a terrible story. I have the last story come out, maybe to buoy us a little bit, to kind of leave us on an up note before we turn y'all loose. Thank you so much, remixers. I think it's now I don't fucking remember. Whatever story you had.
You had 3 stories. You have 2 more stories that we didn't do. There's one that says something around Gaza. There is one that says something about Zimbabwe.
Let's go to Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe out here making moves. And I think my comrades will appreciate this story coming out of Zimbabwe because it involves seizing the means of production. That's exactly. I heard y'all niggas in my head, and I was watching this story. I said, I hear these niggas. Yay!
Now I know we don't have enough time for this other, but did I hear right that some deal was struck with some of the nations of the Sahel, some of the anti-imperialist nations in the U.S. around healthcare?
Correct. Yes, that happened. Burkina Faso actually did agree to that. Some African countries turned the shit down, but I was surprised to hear Burkina Faso said yes. But this is not that story.
Okay, yeah. Okay, you want me to start playing it?
Please.
Yes, ma'am.
The foreign scramble for them, encourage local.
Run it back. You got to run it back.
I'm going to run it back. I got to, I got to get all this tech stuff in order. You know, the TikTok thing doesn't always work correctly for me as I try to make this little dot here go backwards. Sorry, this is real time, ear doctor, kind of like I got to push the right button. Go.
Zimbabwe has taken swift measures banning the export of raw materials, including lithium, which is vital for the global automobile and energy industries. The government of Emerson Mnangagwa says its ban on exports of all raw minerals aims to end the foreign scramble for them, encourage local refining, and ultimately boost the economy. The export ban had originally been scheduled to start in January 2027, but the government says it has fast-tracked it, taking effect immediately. According to the permanent secretary in the Ministry of Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Nick Mangwana, this is because the government has noticed an unprecedented and unacceptable scramble by foreign companies exporting rare earth minerals ahead of the January 2027 deadline. Securing access to rare earths and other strategic minerals has become a global priority for major economies, including the US and China, given their importance in the production of batteries, green energy systems, military equipment, and many other goods. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, Zimbabwe is Africa's largest lithium producer and holds some of the world's largest reserves. The government said lithium concentrate exports reached 1.5 million metric tons in 2025, generating $571.6 million in revenue. However, analysts believe local processing could bring greater benefits, including increased revenue and jobs. Zimbabwe has other mineral resources like gold, copper, nickel, and diamonds, but like many other African countries, it lacks processing capacity, with foreign companies dominating the sector and the minerals being exported in raw forms. This is not the first time Zimbabwe has banned raw mineral exports, with implementation being a challenge. However, the latest move by the government appears to be starting to make an impact, with some companies now planning to start local refining. Local media reported that Prospect Lithium Zimbabwe plans to begin refining lithium concentrate in the coming weeks at its $400 million plant, while Bikita Minerals, owned by Sinomine Resources Group, plans to construct a $500 million lithium sulfate plant this year. Similarly, the state-owned Mutapa Energy Minerals said it would build a $270 million lithium processing plant expected to process 600,000 tons annually.
All right. There it is.
Well, that's good news. Isn't that good news?
It can be good news. It can be good news. If there is, yes, there's local control over the export and use and those resources going back to the larger Zimbabwe people, then I think it can be good news. But time will tell.
Speaking of time, We are right here at 10 o'clock on the dot, and wanted to give a shout out to.
Are you purposely muttering, Jack?
Yes,
Kim?
he is.
I'm sorry. I'm muttering.
Alex sending in $49.99.
Hey.
Big up to Alex. I was trying to have a discussion with my son, who is now driving, about what to do if he gets pulled over, and I didn't know what the best thing to say was. What's the best advice?
Push the pedal to the metal. No, I'm kidding. Don't do that. Floor it.
I would say, as soon as you know you're getting pulled over, go ahead and pull your license out and have everything ready. That's about the best advice I could give you.
I say call somebody, let them know what's happening, and keep them online, and then do that stuff also.
Yeah, and if you can, and even though I hate this kind of how to survive in the system before you destroy it, but if they're trying to pull you over on a dark street, find a well-lit place, to pull over in. Don't as much as you can, don't let them pull you over on a dark, unlit, desolate street or highway. But that's, I don't know. Short of destroying the system, that I don't know what else you.
Do you teach them know your rights as young drivers? Like, for example, when the police start to ask you questions, do you tell your young driver, like, you don't have to answer questions? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, where are you going tonight? The way the casual conversation that police do to try to make inroads to, it accelerate the traffic stop. Do you tell your young driver off the rip, you don't have to answer police questions? You can give them the license, registration, insurance, but you don't have to tell them where you're going, where you're coming from, none of that shit. But a lot of people just go ahead and acquiesce to police questioning because, they don't want to look suspicious.
Yeah. That's
I usually, when I do your rights workshops, I would tell people not to answer stuff, but I also would give some leeway because, again, like you said, like sometimes, but particularly, I guess, if you know that you haven't been involved in something, you're trying to get home. And if you think getting home, that may lead to you getting home, you got to have a little bit of a wiggle room. But usually the less you say, the better, to be honest. Like, you know what I mean? The less you say, whether you're innocent or not, the better.
Helpful Harm sending in $4.99. I am a DSA DSP. We work with adults with autism, BP. Some are highly function, threaten us with sharps. Tiny women work here. Would love to hold a training. All right.
Thank you,
Word Sandstars 9 super sticker for $5. Thank you. And 0 PE. Great show, crew. All right, $1.99. Thank you for all your love, showing the love and keeping us coming out here and rocking out with y'all. Another show, y'all. What we got coming up on Darker Than Black, Darker Than Blue?
Iran, and I'm hoping to talk to somebody about it. Haven't gotten confirmation just yet, but hopefully I'll be able to do an interview on the situation on the ground and talk about a little bit of history of Iran and the history of Iran with us in particular. So hopefully that's going to be Darker Than Blue Friday.
All right. Anything on your end, Kim Brown? Not yet. Nope. All right, Kamal? No? All right. Well, I'll see y'all back here at 11 for... Oh, what's the wrong one? I'll see y'all back here at 11 for a Women's History Month mix for Sunday's radio. So come back here.
At 11?
Huh?
But you're not doing the salt and pepper thing today.
No, we're doing that next week.
But you were going to do that today.
Yeah, we was.
But instead of doing that, you're doing another DJ thing.
Yes.
Okay.
I could have swore he was on screen with all of us, but apparently he wasn't. All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in. We'll be back here tomorrow, 8 a.m. for another Remix Morning show. So be back here.
Everybody's here with me.
All right.
Oh, but your mind is on the other side of town. You don't know nothing about that. You're messing around. Kamal's body was here with us, but his mind was on the other side of town.
All the time.
That's Jackie Lukeman. That's Kamal K. Franklin. That's Kim Brown. I'm the Ear Doctor. Peace out. Have a great one. Black Liberation Media is a collective of Black and African organizers, journalists, academics, and media personalities serving Black and African masses seeking to further grow in their understanding of themselves, their histories, and the African world through entertainment and news. Please continue to like, subscribe, and donate to the channel so we can further serve you and liberate our people. You can also go to blkliberationmedia.org, get some merchandise, and also become a Patreon member and a member from the YouTube. Please do what you can, share, and show your love as we will show ours for you. Black Liberation Media.